Hey guys, it's your girl Lisa, and this is Real Talk, a podcast where I discuss movies and TV more extensively and how art imitates life, imitates art. I recently checked out the newest season for Black Mirror, and let me tell you, it's getting scary out here. The scariest thing about Black Mirror is how true to life it is becoming. And it's not like, oh, far off in the future. It's like tomorrow. And in some cases, last week. So, I mean, the season's been so great. I think I've watched all but one episode. Now, that being said, there is one episode that has stuck out in my mind, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me sit down and talk about it. And that would be episode 1, titled Common People. There will be spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. Okay, so we meet this couple, Amanda and Mike, who've been married for 3 years. It's their anniversary, and they're going to continue the annual tradition of going to this rundown lodge where they originally met. The food is terrible. The place is like, ghost town in a way, like rundown, but it's important to them. It means something to them. You know what I mean? And they're all happy and just radiant. They adore each other. So, of course, my radars are immediately up because, shit is about to hit the fan. They're also trying for a baby. And Amanda is complaining of another headache. I think we know where this is going. They get back from their trip and they're right back to work. Amanda is an elementary school teacher and Mike works in construction. So think metal, wood, hard hats, the whole nine. So while at work, Mike notices one of his coworkers is watching this website called Dumb Dummies, where desperate people do practically anything for money. So think of it as kind of like a degrading yourself, like for money, period. Like one guy he's watching literally drinks his own for money. People pay to watch him do it. And his coworker is laughing up a storm. He's enjoying that content. Notate that for later. So Amanda's at school. She's teaching. And then the lights start flashing and she falls and faints. Shocker, she's got a tumor. A brain tumor. Who knew? We knew. We saw it coming. The minute he said another headache. Because one thing to remember, guys, when watching television or movies, if it's on the screen, most of the time, it's on there for a reason. It's being said for a reason. It's being pointed out for a reason. Mike hears about Amanda, leaves, goes straight to the hospital, and it's not looking good. She's in a coma, and they don't think she's going to wake up. He's already like, oh my gosh, what can we do? What can we do? And the doctor says, hold on. There is a new breakthrough procedure that I heard about. Very new. It's a startup. And of course, he's going to say yes. So he meets with the rep named Gaynor, played by Tracy Ellis Ross. And she is from Rivermind, is the name of the company. And what they do is they're going to imprint or make a copy of the damaged part of his wife's brain, where the tumor is. And then they're going to remove that damaged part and put synthetic material into her brain. What? And then transmit cognitive function from the backup that they copied on the cloud-based server. Full stop. Hell no. At this point, whenever we hear cloud-based, we know, guys, that means you don't own. For my Adobe Premiere OG users, remember when you used to get the drive or even Microsoft Word, Office, you get the disk and you would download to your machine and you had it, you owned it. Now, everything is cloud-based with monthly subscriptions. Adobe Premiere, Microsoft Office. So I hear cloud-based, radars are up. Mike is skeptical. He's like, what is this? What are you talking about? Is this real? And Gaynor lets him know that she is not only a rep, she's also a client.
I am living proof.
How much is this gonna cost?
And she's perfectly fine. Her kids say she's perfectly fine and she is thriving. So let me get this straight. You want to take a piece of my wife's brain, put synthetic material in it where it's linked to a cloud-based server that you run, and it'll help her live her life, but she's restrained to only where the towers, I would say, provide coverage. What's the catch? Well, the surgery is free, but what's the catch? Because let me tell you, baby, ain't nothing in life free. Almost nothing in life is free. You gotta give up something. That's when Gaynor tells him, no, the surgery is free. But the streaming is a subscription model where you will have to pay $300 a month. What is this sounding like to y'all? Strap in. It's about to get worse. So Mike's like, yes, let's do it. Opt for the surgery. Let's go. They do it. It's a success. Amanda is awake. She is well. And she's fully aware about Rivermind. The $300 is a bit of a strain on their budget. But Mike says he's going to work extra shifts. Don't worry about it. So he does. And it starts working for a while. But as time goes on, he has to work more and more and more overtime to the point where he's working overtime every week. So all of a sudden, a year has passed and it's their anniversary again. It's time for their annual trip to the lodge I forget what county, but in the next county. So they gear up. He's ready to splurge. Like, no, let's go. I've been working like crazy. Let's just go enjoy our usual annual trip to this rundown lodge. So they hop in the car, they head over there, and then Amanda blacks out. Mike is so like he's tripping out. He makes a U-turn, almost causes an accident, and tries driving back home. And then she popped back up again like nothing ever happened. So obviously that's weird. Let's go visit Gaynor and see what's going on. They go back to Rivermind, and that's where Gaynor tells them, oh, don't worry about it. Everything is good. Nothing has malfunctioned. We've just changed the coverage area. I'm sorry, what? Yes, so apparently they've rolled out new towers. They've upgraded their system. So in order for them to get more coverage, and also the coverage they originally had, they have to upgrade to their new tier, Rivermind Plus. I don't know how much more obvious I can make it. I think we know where we're going with this story, but continue. Let's go. That would be an extra $500 a month on top of what they're already paying. So $800 a month for this new Plus. That's out of their budget. That's too much money. They can't do that. But then that means that she can't leave the county. Not the state, the county. And what they have now is no longer Rivermind. It's Rivermind Common. So Gaynor's like, whoa, hold on. When I sat down with you originally, you told me that they were going to be rolling this out everywhere. And Gaynor's like, yeah, with Rivermind Plus. Oh, you a shady little thing, ain't you? You see what you did there? Shady. That girl probably make a killing as a salesman. They're like, nah, we can't do it. And they leave and they go back home. But Amanda feels like she's sleeping for longer periods of hours now. And then things get worse. She starts spouting ads.
Have you tried espresso grande?
Without even knowing it. Like in the middle of a conversation, you could be talking about, oh yeah, I like honey. And then she'll be like, you should try Honey Nugs. It's delicious, nutritious cereal the whole family will love. And then she'll stop and then she'll go back to being her again. Like, okay, yeah, so what's up? Like she won't even know that she ran an ad. Mind-boggling. Now, imagine this happening and you're also a school teacher and kids are asking you questions and you're responding. It does not go well. And then the ads are starting to become more frequent and lasting longer on top of it. At first, Amanda and Mike don't even realize it's happening, but then they pick up on it one night when they're getting like, they're about to get down and there's some nice little like intimate time. And out of nowhere, she starts talking about an ad for lubricated condoms. Excuse me, ma'am, what? And that's when they figure out, okay, something's wrong. They go back to Gaynor and Gaynor's like, oh, that's right. We've introduced ads now. We've upgraded our services, upgraded our towers to introduce ads. Say what, chick? So now there's a new tier without ads. So now Rivermind Common, which is the tier they're on, allows ads. And if they don't want ads, they can upgrade to Rivermind Plus. But again, that's $800 a month. That's way out of their budget right now. They can't. So like, nah, we're not doing it, and they leave. But the problem is the ads are becoming more frequent and lasting longer. And now Amanda's job is in jeopardy. Because you can't have her around kids. They're talking to her about something. They're asking her for advice about, oh, my family, this. And then she comes with, oh, if you go to our family center, da-da-da-da. Like that's, listen, it starts not being a good thing. And her job's in jeopardy. If she can't control the ads, they're going to have to let her go. Which, you can't get mad at the school. It's understandable. She's around kids. So Mike is now desperate. Remember Dumb Dummies? Told y'all to hold that for later. Well, Mike puts on a mask and goes on Dumb Dummies. He joins the website and does something gross. We don't see it, but it's heavily implied that he drank his own urine. But he's got the money now and gets her on Rivermind Plus. Amanda doesn't know about Dumb Dummies. The thing about it is he has to do this every month now because every month you got to pay $800, which means more degrading stuff, like going to put mousetrap on your tongue. The man loves his wife, okay? I could never ask my husband to do this. Like, just let me go. Then they start realizing that Amanda is sleeping more. Odd. They go back to Grainer and find out there's been a firmware update. So now Amanda will be sleeping for 12 hours a day. And she's like, yeah, but I don't feel rested. Turns out, while she's sleeping, her brain is being used to power the server. So she never feels rested.
Ever.
And if she goes back down to common, then she'll be sleeping for 16 hours plus ads. The underhanded way that they are running their company reminds me of some other ones. I can't quite put my finger on it right now, but it'll come to me. So apparently, Plus is now standard. They have a new tier.
Rivermind Lux.
Not only is there less sleeping and no ads, but you are now able to heighten your sensors, your flavors, your smells, everything turned up. You could even add more physical abilities. Like if you didn't know how to play tennis very well, all you gotta do is move that meter up and all of a sudden you're an expert tennis player. But that plan is about $1,800 a month. They peace out like, nah, y'all tripping. It's the anniversary and Mike wants to make it special. So he cannot afford the Lux plan, but what he can do is pay for Lux vouchers where you could enjoy the perks of the heightened senses and everything for like 12 days or 1 to 2 hours. Sorry, flip that. For like 12 hours and 1 to 2 days. But that means come with extra money for those vouchers. So he goes back on Dumb Dummies and does a very dumb dummy thing. He agrees to remove his mask for $500.
What?
Which he does. So he gets the money. They go on their anniversary trip. He surprises her with the Lux boosters, they're called. And she gets to try Lux for the weekend. And she turns all of her senses up on 100. And let me tell you, my girl is feeling it. She looked like she was high. Like the highest of highs. Okay? She's feeling everything. Like the skin feels different. The food tastes 10 times better. The music she hears is 100 times better. The sex is 100 times better. Which, personally, I know it's your anniversary and everything, and he's trying to surprise her and everything, but man, you wanna have sex on 100 where you are feeling everything? Isn't that gonna kind of give you a false, not false, but isn't it gonna be hard to beat that if you're not on the Lux plan every month. So their trip is done. The anniversary is over. They get back home and Mike goes back to work and things are not good. The guys are snickering. They're talking behind his back and no one wants to be near him. And when he goes into the break room, he sees a screenshot of his face on Dumb Dummies. And he knows exactly who did it. Remember that coworker who was looking at it in the beginning of the show? Yeah, that same one. That little punk sat there and screenshotted it, printed it out, and posted it at the job. So Mike sees red. He sees red. He runs, confronts him. He like holds him up and everything. And the dude's just like, yo, it's not my fault that you do this. He's a butthole. But Mike is so mad. Remember, they were construction. Mike is so mad that like he doesn't directly push him, but he like the guys pull him off of him and he wants to go after him. So the guy, steps back to get away from him, and that's when he is met with a horrible accident. A machine runs over him, but like he's still alive. I think it crushed one side of him. I think he seems like he's living, like he's okay. I don't know if he'll work construction again, but he's good. Technically. So, what happens next? Mike gets fired. Has to go home and he goes to Amanda and he's just like, I got fired. She's like, what? What are we going to do? We can't afford things. So they're like, you know what? We'll go talk to Gaynor. We've been loyal customers. It's been a couple years. We always pay on time. They should be able to give us like just a little bit of time to get on our feet. Incorrect. Gaynor says no, they cannot. Sorry, apologies, we can't. Sorry. That sucks. They're like, but just for a little bit. And I think they mentioned pregnant, that they're trying to get pregnant. And Gaynor's like, oh, are you pregnant right now? And they're like, oh, no. I said, oh, okay. Because being pregnant costs extra. Excuse me? Yeah, apparently because of the changes to the brain and the processing and how much toll it takes, they need to charge more, which makes sense because let me tell you, you're growing a human being in your body. The amount of changes that a woman's body goes through with being pregnant, wild. It's a miracle. It's amazing. It's also wild. So I think that was the last straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. They left. Like they cursed her and peaced out. We jump ahead a year. And it's their anniversary. And their house is bare. Practically bare. And their valuables are all sold off. There's dirty dishes in the sink and on the counters. Laundry's piled up. They both look worse for the wear. Amanda more so than him. Like, she looks like an addict. Her face is thin and sunken in. Her hair is stringy. She seems weak. He takes her outside. They say happy, tells her happy anniversary. He gives her a Lux card. This time he can only afford 30 minutes and chooses to put her serenity, her calmness, her peace on 100. And she just feels serenity immediately. Then she tells him,
I think it's time.
He tries to protest, but she goes, no, it's time. And then she tells him, do it when I'm not here. So he takes her to her bed, lays her down in her bed. And as the timer for the 30-minute Lux card goes up, the time's up, goes off, Amanda starts spouting out an ad.
Are you filled with dread? Racked with despair?
Babe.
So he takes a pillow and smothers her face with it until she passes away. Then he takes a box cutter, goes into his bedroom, and closes the door. And that's the end of the episode. I know it's a bit of a downer at the end, but I want to take a few minutes to kind of like talk about it a little bit more. So there are a few things that I want to talk about with the episode. First was the fact that, towards the end, they were selling everything off because, of course, they could not stay on Plus. They couldn't afford Lux before. And with him losing his job, they couldn't stay on Lux. They couldn't stay on Plus. They had to go back down to Common, which meant she would be sleeping for 16-hour days and be running ads. There's no way she could be teaching like that. No way. So of course that meant she lost her job. And he can't do construction work, so he hasn't lost a job. So he's probably working all the jobs he can get. And he was missing a couple of teeth when he was talking to her. So it is safe to assume that he continued doing the Dumb Dummies website and doing the desperate things to get more money just to keep her alive and keep them above water. And after a while, it just wasn't worth it anymore. So after a year of this, what kind of quality of life is she living if she's sleeping for 16 hours a day and the 8 hours that she's up? That's assuming it's 16 hours. It could be longer because they might have, upgraded their servers again. It's possible that she's sleeping for maybe closer to 20 hours a day for all we know. But let's say it's 16 to 20 hours a day she's sleeping. And then the time that she's up, the 4 to 8 hours she's up, she's running ads. And if it's anything like a YouTube video, she's running ads every 10 minutes in a conversation, or just period. What kind of life is that to live? And would you want to live that kind of life? Would it be worth it to you to continue living with that quality of life? And can I tell you that even if that wasn't my quality of life, the whole cloud-based thing and everything, no. I don't care if I'm running ads or not running ads. The answer is no. Let me go. It's my time. That's how I personally feel. That's just me. I don't know how you guys feel. That's how I feel. And then the underhanded ways that they sucked them in on a fake facade promise, like, hey, you only pay this price, you're gonna get this much coverage, and we're expanding, leaving out the fact that the expansion increases the money and creates the tiers. Remember when it was just Amazon Prime? You had access to everything that was on Amazon Prime. But now, instead of creating a bottom tier with ads, they added ads to a tier you're already paying. And now you would have to pay more not to have ads. Correlation there. And then there's this whole talk about, what's it called? Something link? Brain link? The brain chips that Elon Musk wants to do. And then I heard another company who wants to also do it, like for gaming or something. Think about that. That's not too far off. And what does having a chip in your brain do? What does it give them access to? So the fact that they were able to control her with these ads, she had no control over when the ads would play. She didn't even know they were playing. We are so not far off from that. The whole brain thing may seem like, okay, that's a sci-fi element, but think about it in terms of, again, like I said, the brain chips that they're trying to do, right, with Elon Musk, his company. And then think about the state of health insurance in America. Because my whole thing was, if you can't pay, let's say you, like they lost their job, they kept it going, but what happens if he couldn't find a way to make more money? They would just shut her off. She's no longer a human being. She is just essentially a battery to them to power the servers and bring money. Similar to how it was explained in The Matrix with Morpheus to Neo, how we were turned into batteries for the robots. And then all these advancements in AI, I just feel like AI advances, humanity regresses. That's how it's feeling. That's what I've noticed. So this one really stuck in my mind, just like how cold and how cruel they are. They didn't even give them a month grace. There was no grace period. Not even a month. Not even okay, we'll go ahead and give you 1 month to get it together. Nothing. Oh, you can't pay? Hands are tied. And the way that Tracy Ellis played Gaynor was amazing. She just got more and more sinister as time went on. And there was an element that I didn't mention before was in the beginning they were trying for a baby. They had bought a crib, and they were wondering if they bought it too early because they're not having the baby. She keeps getting her period, and the crib was kind of like a metaphor for a few things. One thing that I think it was for their dream, their life, their happiness, and how at the end of the episode, when they were selling everything off, a young couple came to purchase that same crib that they were going to use to have their own baby. But that dream had died. He was like, enjoy the crib, and they were like, oh, well, we're not a couple. We're going to use the crib to make a music video where we're just going to destroy it and burn it. And I feel like that was a little bit left that he had. They just removed because in a way it was showing that their lives, their hopes, their dreams were now going to be being destroyed, had been destroyed. So that was one kind of connection I felt that I had in there. There's a lot to unpack in this episode. It was a very interesting episode that stuck out to me. And I don't know how to feel about it right now, but it is wild. So let me know what you guys' thoughts on this, how you feel. If you've watched the new episodes of Black Mirror, if you've watched the new season, if you're a fan of Black Mirror, you've kind of fallen off. This season is a very strong season. Very strong. It's got 6 episodes. I've thoroughly enjoyed 4 of those episodes. One of the episodes was good. It was building up tensions all the way through, and then I feel like because the ambiguous ending, it kind of ruined it for me. But it was still a good ride. And then there's one episode left I have to watch. But trust me when I tell you that, like, this season, they are back in their bag. They are on it. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. And let's talk about it. Would this be something that you would be considering? Would you want to do a River Mind thing? Let's say you were dying, you were in a coma, and they had an opportunity to keep you going, to keep you alive. And it would be you, fully you. With or without ads. Would you consider this? And you know what? Can I also say that this stark reality of really coming to fruition, how the future is really being built on the backs of the middle class, and how, I mean, middle class have always upheld things, but it's like being beaten down, and soon only the rich will be able to live normal lives. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Check out my Patreon, NXG Global Productions, and become a part of the community. We're also on Spotify, Amazon Music, IHeart Radio, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts. And I will check you guys out in the next video. Bye.